This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Royals POSTCAST here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the way. You can shoot me a follow on Twitter at Chance Liebau. It's right by my name tag here on the live stream. If you're not watching live, you can't make the show live, these episodes are uploaded for you on demand. And you can also go back and watch them on YouTube after the fact because they're still up on YouTube and you'll still be able to watch the video if that's kind of your thing. Me personally, I love watching podcasts more than listening to them. So I always like to have the video element. If that's you, you can always find these after the fact. And if you're here, shoot me a follow on Twitter at Chance Liebau on the Twitter/X. Thank you for making the Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals POSTCAST your first listen of the day. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so you get an alert whenever we go live or post a new video. Thanks so much for joining the show. Feel free to join the live chat and let me know your thoughts on the game. And I'm going to do my best to respond to the comments. And I started out by saying the postcast does not officially start until someone blames everything on Q. Just thought I'd have some fun in the comments. And of course, Parker comes in and answers the call saying Q sucks. I like to have the interaction here on the postcast. And you guys all know that we don't take ourselves too seriously here. Very much a positive day for Royals baseball, and then a 4-day hiatus for us because we're hitting the AllStar break. So appreciate you guys for being here. And let's continue to rack up these numbers. We're up to over 3,300 subscribers on the YouTube page. Let's get to 4,000 by the end of the year or something like that. I don't know what the goal is here, but appreciate you guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and like the video because we always do appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. It was the Nick Loftin homestand. Let's get into it with what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Nick Loftin, man. Nick Loftin with another great, I don't want to say a great game, but clutch. Somebody in the chat already called him clutch. Loftin is clutch. Gary Boyd coming in saying Loftin is clutch. He has been. 2 walk-off hits on the homestand. Tyler Tolbert, I think it was Eisenberg or HUD that said it on the post game or right after they won. You know, the steal by Tyler Tolbert and obviously the hit. I mean, he's 1 for 12 coming in. I'm under the impression, I'm not a huge Tyler Tolbert fan. He's not going to give you as much competency at the plate as a Dairon Blanco, and his base running has left a lot to be desired this season. But hey, he just won them a baseball game, which is hard to do in the modern era all by yourself. And Tyler Tolbert was really, really good today when the Royals needed him to be. Was backing up the play when Isbell, got decked, and obviously that run scores, but still being there in the right position. Tolbert's not really a natural outfielder. He was great. And then, of course, Nick Loftin knocking him in, bringing him around to score. All things positive coming out. And I wasn't a fan of how the bats looked today, but also you have to remember, Clay Holmes is a really solid pitcher, and Sean Manaea was wicked today. I mean, that stuff was nasty. And I'm really, really happy with what we saw from the Royals today. But the pitching for the Mets was really, really spot on. Hitting spots, doing just enough to get the Royals out. Both teams had a ton of double plays, something we don't see a whole lot from the Royals. But I thought this was a monumental win heading into the All-Star break. You needed this positive momentum. I feel like a couple years ago, maybe it was last year, they ended the first half with a walk-off, and it gave him some good vibes. And then we all remember the tear that Bobby Witt Jr. and company went on right out of the All-Star break. It wasn't last year at the All-Star break because they were in Boston. But being able to end with a positive taste in your mouth, that has to be – I don't think you can measure that. I don't think that's something you can gather. I just think that was what you expect from the Royals in a back against the wall spot. Now, it's easy to forget they are 47-50. They are 4th place in the AL Central. So things are – pointing up, but they did not have a very good series on the offensive side of the ball. And the pitching staff, the bullpen, had a lot of miscues, a lot of really, really tough innings. The bullpen did. Carlos Estevez, blew it in the ninth, leaves the ball. I mean, Jeff McNeil's not a guy that's going to drive the ball out of a ballpark in the year of our Lord 2025. He's more of a, bat the ball. HUD called him a slap hitter in the box. That's who Jeff McNeil is. And so you give up a ball that's like a home run in 28 out of 30 ballparks, and Kyle Isbell does everything he can to run it down. I mean, you shouldn't have the runner on second in the first place. Carlos Estevez wasn't sharp, but I mean, 2 nights ago, he was relied upon to do something he's not. I mean, I'll kind of give him a pass, but you do just enough offensively against a really, really good pitching tandem with Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea. And Manaea was wicked against them. And then somebody in the live chat says AAA guys get it done. Tolbert, Cameron, Raven, Loftin. None of them were on the opening day roster. Great point there, DJ. Appreciate you in the comments. But the bottom of the order getting things done with Nick Loftin coming in and pinch hitting, Tyler Tolbert getting on. I mean, I didn't have much confidence in that last frame heading into it, just because Nick Loftin's been so spotty this year, and Sean Manaea was vicious. I mean, he was really good in this outing. So I didn't have much optimism heading into that final ABs, but Nick Loftin and Tyler Tolbert, an unheralded tandem, get it done. And so I thought it was really, really a great game to finish the first half on. You get to let that feeling sit for 4 days instead of the Mets, busting it open in the ninth and taking Carlos Estevez down to the wire and sending him to the All-Star break with another bad outing. So I like where we're at. And I say we, I'm not a member of the Royals organization, but I like where the Royals are at. I don't think they are in like a, all chips in the table kind of mode. I don't think that's where their head's at. I think they're being very patient, and I understand it. I understand the patience, because you don't want to sell the farm for magic beanstalks that turn out to be green beans. So I think that they are going to be very cautious about the guys that they give up. I was on the I think they trade Blake Mitchell train. I backed off that. If maybe they swept or took 2 out of 3, I'd be different. I'd feel differently. But yeah, I think that they're in a solid position. They need to start piling wins on top of each other. They need to start winning series. And they did that. They won this Pirates series. They swept the Pirates out of town. They won the Diamondbacks series. But they can't just tread water. You've got to start making up ground at some point. And they get an opportunity after the All-Star break to go beat up on Miami. And it's on the road at a pitcher-friendly ballpark, a team that is drowning right now. And literally, fish can't drown. Marlins technically can't drown. But you have an opportunity to really capitalize on a weak schedule in the month of July remaining. So I think they need to do something. I can talk about John Rave a little bit more. I know my thoughts on him are a little bit different than everybody else's. I'm not a big John Rave fan. At the end of the day, he went 1 for 2 and struck out, but had the clutchest hit of the day, the biggest hit of the day until the ninth. So I think they need to, at some point, address the outfield, because you cannot continue running him out there. And I'll talk about that when we come back here on the Royals Postcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's a game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, and even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it possible. Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for an exciting upcoming MLB game. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So obviously John Rave had a big big hit today. That double that scored the first 2 runs of the game was great. It is a results-oriented business. Sports in general are, because you're, at the end of the day, you're graded on a win-loss record and a batting average and an ERA. The process is just what frustrates me with John Rave. I don't think he's a big league ball player, and I think that the fact that they continue to just run him out there every day, it frustrates me as a Royals fan who wants to see this team have success. I just don't love running him out there all the time. Now, if he can parlay this into a really good 2-week stretch where he gets that batting average above 200, he finally starts to hit extra base hits. He just hasn't had much pop in his bat recently, or even this season, really. I mean, that double he hit today was his 2nd extra base hit of the season. So I'm still of the belief that he cannot be a player that you rely on going forward. He can maybe be a 4th outfielder / pinch runner, but I don't think that he should be starting in left field once we get to August 1st, if this team seriously wants to compete. Now, if they just want to run him out there every day and kind of see what they have in a 27-year-old that spent a ton of time in AAA, then that's their own decision. But I'm not a huge John Ray fan. You guys know that if you've been watching. But yeah, I really like the way the offense played today against a really tough pitching staff. Jonathan India, I mean, can we talk about Jonathan India here a little bit? Somebody, Obito, saying Jonathan India hitting well. I mean, he's not just hitting well. He is the catalyst for this offense. And the problem is that they just can't drive him in. He has been so consistent at getting on base. I mean, what did we say all of last season? This Royals team needs a leadoff guy all of last season, whether it was Maikel Garcia going through a big drought, Michael Massey being a guy that just doesn't walk whatsoever. And then we finally see Jonathan India come in, struggles to start the season, has to, adapt. There's a bit of a learning curve. And now he's getting on all the time, and they can't drive him in. Bobby Witt Jr. gets doubled up today twice. That never happens to Bobby Witt Jr. They're unable to drive him in when he leads off games. It's just hilarious how they can't do when they take a step forward, they take 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back, whatever you want to call it. Jonathan India has been so good, exactly what the doctor ordered for this offense. A leadoff guy that gets on consistently, puts together great at-bats, and then they just can't drive him in. It's hilarious. And then Noah Cameron today. I wanted to talk about Noah Cameron. I mean, he was spectacular. You want to talk about double plays. Let's see how many the Royals were able to turn today. I guess they only turned 2. The Royals had 2, and then the Mets had 2. But he was getting outs quick early in ABs. The strikeout stuff was, I wouldn't say it was great. 8 strikeouts, but he wasn't overpowering. But he really was spectacular today. I think Noah Cameron, and I know that Jake and HUD were floating him as the Rookie of the Year. Jacob Wilson's going to win Rookie of the Year. Noah Cameron might be in the conversation late in the year, but he didn't have the prospect pedigree. Wilson was a first-round pick, and he's hitting .330, second in the big leagues in batting average. Like, those numbers are going to pop. Noah Cameron didn't make his first start until mid-May and has been kind of up and down. He's not a big name, so I understand him not being in the Rookie of the Year conversation. But man, he was spectacular. I think he's a guy. He was a guy that myself I figured, kind of parlay him into a bat. And this was months ago, before, I guess I'd say probably a month ago, before he really turned into what he is today. I didn't know if it was just going to be a month, a one-off where he's just really good for a month and then struggles to find, that next step. And it was before Cole Reagans had gone onto the 60-day. And I was like, maybe Cameron is the guy you move for a bat. And now I'm thinking this guy's your Chris Bubich replacement in a year when Bubich is a free agent. I don't think that you can move off of Noah Cameron. He's been that good for them as a local kid and as a rookie. That's 2 things that they just didn't have in the cards this year. They didn't expect that, and he's been fantastic. DJ pulling up our numbers, saying India last 40, 275 batting average, 335 on base. And yeah, that's kind of what you expect from Jonathan India here at this point of his season. So I love Jonathan India. I have since the beginning of him coming to Kansas City. I thought he was exactly what they needed. He needs to be the leadoff guy. I've never moved off of that. I'm a Jonathan India. I said it when he was in that big slump and Michael Garcia was raking. Not only is Jonathan India the best leadoff guy on the roster, he's the only leadoff guy on the roster, like they talk about in Moneyball. So I'm a huge Jonathan India fan, and I think that he continues to, prove his value over and over again to this team. Now, I wish he would have scored on that spike the other night, but hindsight's 2020. All right, let's get to some comments before we send you guys into the All-Star break. Brent said, very impressed with with Noah Cameron and his composure. Yeah, he's stone cold, ice in his veins for sure. Bolin says Tyler Tolbert redemption before he gets sent back down. Glad to see it. Same with John Rave. I mean, Tolbert's going to be here until Dyron Blanco makes his return. I would imagine at least. Andy saying great win, but I don't need to see John Rave trying to steal third anymore. That's great because I don't think John Rave's going to be on second very often going forward. So you don't have to worry about that going forward. Continuing to look here. Female Royals fan saying, when did they say Tolbert's being sent down? He's technically on the roster to provide us a pinch runner, but he's just not a very good runner. I mean, he's fast, and that's what he's got going for him, but he's not a very smart base runner. He's gotten thrown out so many times, it feels like this season when they need him. So I think that whenever Dyron Blanco's healthy, who is an elite base runner, I think that Tolbert probably goes down because Dyron Blanco also can hit, and he's good defensively. Okay, DJ saying offense needs to be better versus quality pitching. These are the type of guys you see in October, need to scratch across more runs if you want to play in October. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I feel that way. And I've said that they need to be better against good teams, good pitchers. Obeg coming in and saying, who are we going to draft? No idea, really. I'm not when the Royals were bad, I was pretty invested in the draft, but now they don't pick until 23, I think. So I haven't been dialed in on the draft really. At that point, when you're at 23, and I think they have 28 as well, when you have those picks, it's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, you don't know who's going to be taken before them. I don't think when Brady Singer got drafted by the Royals in a similar position, I don't think we ever would have thought that Brady Singer, who was floated as a number one pick candidate, would be there for the Royals. I think it was at 15. So you don't know who's going to be on the board. And JJ has always kind of been a guy who likes, and I think this Royals organization as a whole, when they go draft, they like to save money early and then capitalize. I mean, Carter Jensen is the top prospect currently in the minor leagues right now for them, and also Blake Mitchell. But Jensen was a second-round pick, and they were able to get Jensen in the second round because they took Frank Mazzucato way before he should have gone and paid him less than slot. So I have seen so much stuff about them drafting a high school bat. I think that's probably where they go. I think they're going to draft a pair of high schoolers in this draft, but I don't know who it would be. I've heard Cruz Schoolcraft is who Preston Farr, one of my favorite follows on Twitter. He really likes Cruz Schoolcraft, and I think Applewhite is another one. But I'm not a scout. I don't have any inside information there. Continuing to look here, Freakazoid saying, is Nick Loftin the clutchest player on the planet? Yeah, probably. For the last week, yeah, he has been. Jaylen saying, yes, Royals can get hot. We've seen it. They just got to be consistent. And also bringing up the fact that MJ was a good spark plug at times too, good personality. I'm of the belief that I'd rather have MJ on the roster and in the clubhouse than John Rave. And Gary coming in and saying, I would platoon Melendez and Loftin if a Zobrist type can't be obtained. I don't think they're going to go out and get a Ben Zobrist type. I don't think, because Zobrist was a rental and they gave up a ton. I don't think the Royals are one move away from being a playoff team. I think they're 3 to 4 moves away from being a playoff team. Gavin coming in and saying, Chance, only because I don't see you on mailbags, what level of trade activity do you think? I'd say anywhere from 2 to 3 moves. One, I would assume they probably get a major league bat in return for either Seth Lugo or Michael Lorenzen or whoever. But I'm of the belief they make 2 to 3 moves. They buy for 26 and sell some of their rental pieces like Lorenzen and Lugo, who are free agents likely at the end of the season. Okay. Gavin saying, could we see a Bubic for Duran trade? Who says no? I think the Royals probably say no there. Honestly, I think both teams probably say no. I think the Royals, like we've seen, they don't have enough pitching depth right now. And I don't think the Red Sox need another lefty in that rotation with Crochet. But I like where your head's at. I think that those are two pretty comparable guys and two teams that now, if they were in different leagues, if the Royals weren't chasing the Red Sox right now, if the Red Sox weren't trying to fend off the Royals right now, then maybe we see that as well. But yeah, I don't think they trade Bubic this season. I think he's here to stay. Maybe they entertain it in the offseason because I think he's pretty expendable. But I'm also of the belief I think they could extend Bubic for a pretty cheap number compared to what we saw from like Danny Duffy when he was kind of in a Bubic position. 15 to 20 a year, it'll probably be where he ends up getting picked. Gary saying Tolbert actually has not been caught stealing. He had a replay controversy caught stealing. He's been picked off like twice when you play when you play as much as he does, getting picked off at all. He's supposed to be this demon base runner, and you get picked off at all. That's not a good thing. Jaylen's saying, are you looking forward to the All-Star festivities this year? Not really. I could give rats what about the All-Star festivities. I liked it last year when Bobby was in the home run derby, but no Royals are in the starting lineup. They're going to get a courtesy at bat from Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone can honestly, I don't know. I'm not a huge Aaron Boone fan. I think we're all in the same boat there. But yeah, I'm not. I could care less about the All-Star, and especially DJ Mack brings it up. Thoughts on Mizorowski, the All-Star for the Brewers that made 5 starts and got in the All-Star game. I mean, that's what it is. It's a joke. The All-Star game, it's a popularity contest. And that is funny. I am of the belief that Major League Baseball has the best All-Star game, but I don't think it should be a participation trophy of like, he's made 5 starts. I don't think he's an all-star. I think he's one of the better young pitchers in baseball, but the Phillies have 2 pitchers on their roster that have much better numbers than he does. And I don't know. I'm not a huge All-Star break fan. I think that I enjoy the time off. Let's just say that. But I'll be probably watching on Tuesday night. I don't think I'll watch the home run derby just because I have no rooting interest. Maybe I hate watch for Jazz Chisholm, but that's about it. I'm not really a huge fan of the All-Star festivities when and my players, my favorite team isn't involved. All right, we went way over. These are supposed to be 15 to 20 minutes, but I'm not going to be able to talk to you guys for another week. So I appreciate you guys hopping in here. If you are new, subscribe to the channel. We do these after every Royals game, so you can always come hang out. Always come and tell me your thoughts on the Royals game. And this is pretty interactive. I'm trying to be better at answering comments and. Near the end of the show, that's usually when I open it up. But I appreciate you guys hopping in here. Enjoy your All-Star break. I will see you on Thursday after the Royals and Marlins game. I'm Chance Liebau. This has been the Royals Postcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.